Lalescia Hicks, and this is the story of my life from being an abused person in life and abusing myself to overcoming and becoming a beautiful woman and inspiring other people to go forward and be resilient and challenge yourself and grow and heal through all that you go through.
Welcome to You Can and You Will Talk Show. Today we have a guest by the name of Lalescia. Lalescia had a lot of different things that she overcame as a child, young adult, and an older adult. So welcome, Lalescia.
Thank you.
All right, Lalescia. Lalescia. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I met you at another event a few weeks ago, and your story was so touching. I was like, I gotta have her on here because I feel like your story can help probably millions of people throughout the world. Your story definitely touched me. So I remember at the event you mentioned that your mom had you at age of 16. How was that like growing up in your household? Like, because being that your mother was young, and how was it like growing up? Were you the only child?
No, I had an older brother. He is now deceased.
Okay.
And growing up with my brother was fun because he was the only thing that I had to hold on to going through the type of things that were happening in my household. My mom was mostly absent in the home, and my grandmother used to say really bad things about my mother. So if you were to ask me if I never knew she was my mother, I would think that she was my sister.
Or your mother?
Yes.
Okay. So how many siblings was it coming up in the household with you?
It was 5 of us.
5, okay.
Actually, it's a big gap.
Okay.
In my siblings and myself.
Oh, wow.
My youngest brother is 27.
Okay.
He'll be 27 on the 30th of this month.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay. So you grew up in a house with your mother and your grandfather, no father, pretty much.
My grandfather wasn't present either.
Okay.
My mother was most of the time in a penitentiary. My father was all of the time in the penitentiary.
Okay.
And they left me with my grandmother, who did not like girls.
Okay.
She basically, they favored the boys. And it's kind of still like that in my family. My mom also favors boys to girls.
Okay.
So.
You mentioned also at the event that, you turned to drugs at an early age. What made you turn to drugs at an early age, and how old were you?
Well, the events that happened in my grandma's house, I lived with a pedophile. So he stayed in the basement as a boarder. And I had to take him his meals basically 3 times a day because I did all the cleaning and all that type of stuff. So I was getting molested at an early age. I can remember back to about the age of 5 and up until about the age of 11. And my grandmother had a lot of people in the house, so did my mother. It was always strangers around the house, always people looking at you like they wanted to do something nasty to you,
Right.
Dirty old men talking about when you get 18. They never waited till I got 18. And so I started using drugs basically at around the age of 12. Curiosity, marijuana don't work, And I was stuffing my feelings, so I needed something to put on top of that. So basically I started out with marijuana, cigarettes, went on to pills in junior high school, very suicidal during that time. Just didn't like my skin. It was just, I just always felt dirty and nasty. And they always called me fast. And it was always so many secrets in the house.
You got so heavy into drugs, and you beat a murder case. You mentioned, and I don't recall you going into it. I don't know if you want to go into what happened or anything like that.
Well, I must say at 13, my grandmother put me out, so I was basically on my own in the street. Looking for somewhere to stay, and I had learned how to manipulate, from being in my grandmother's house because my grandmother sold liquor. My mother sold drugs.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever she was out of jail. And so I learned how to manipulate pretty much and survive in the neighborhood. Used the men when I needed them or needed some place to stay or whatever. Never really had a good relationship, never felt safe. So that led me into freebasing and selling drugs when I was younger. And selling drugs and trying to hide it that you already are using drugs is pretty hard. It's a pretty hard drug. I couldn't keep it up for long.
Right.
And so at about 15, started freebasing pretty much, and got into the heavier drugs.
Okay.
You know, trying heroin. So I was on drugs, heavy drugs, from 15 to 31 years old.
Okay.
At 21 years old is my brother, my older brother. He started like robbing people. He was on PCP and pretty much walk in the house, grab the TV, take the TV out of the house while you're watching it. He'd just unplug it and walk out with it.
Okay.
That type of thing. And they already said that he was slow, but the PCP just made him real aggressive. And so at the time that the situation happened, my mother had called me to stay with her that night because she had to go to court the next day. And she woke me up and she said, he won't let me out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody knew that I carried a firearm. That wasn't anything. So I got up, left my 7-month-old baby on the couch, slipped on my clothes, grabbed my purse with my gun in it, and went in the kitchen. And, I said, Dad, what's going on? And he didn't say anything. He was going through our mother's purse. And when I said, I'm going to pick up this ID because Mama got to go to court, he grabbed me and threw me up against the stove, dragged me in the room and started kicking me. And my brother had never put his hands on me. Me and my brother was very close. So it was a shock to me,
right?
And he just kept kicking me, and they was like, you gonna kill her, and blah, blah, blah. And so when he did stop kicking me, he ran around the corner and he grabbed my mother. All I heard was boom, boom. And then, when I got up off the floor, I had my firearm already in my hand. And so when I stepped around the corner, my grandmother and grandfather was on the floor. And my brother was beating my mother. And my son was on the couch, and my 4-year-old sister was by my elbow. And I had another 2-year-old sister in the house. So, I didn't have time to think or anything.
Right.
I just tried to shoot him in his leg, and it was a pretty big firearm, and it hit him in the back. And he died that day. So that was the story of my brother, my older brother.
Okay. Well, okay.
Get high more.
You said made you get high more?
Yeah, another 11 years, without a break at that,
I know it probably took you to another place with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
The guilt, the shame, the remorse, the suicidal, thoughts.
I'm gonna move forward because I'm emotional. You mentioned you end up getting married. You end up getting married later on. At the time, you thought that was a good idea because you wanted a husband to help watch your kids, as he was trying to slow you down, but you was still out there in the streets or whatnot.
Oh yes. I remember my first husband used to sit by the door and try to stop me from going outside. And if you ever tried to stop a crack addict from going out to get some crack, okay, so he's sitting by the door, and I would go upstairs and stump upstairs and act like I was mad, and I would jump off the second floor out the window and come back with my drugs and knock on the door. So, you know, you cannot keep he tried everything, you know. And he was a big man. He was he's 6'3", and he was like 268.
Okay. How many kids did you have at the time when you were with him?
3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he was pretty much taking care of the kids.
The whole family.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember he used to make like $68 a week, and I said, "You need to go get a job." I told him to go get a truck driving job, and he did. He's a big guy.
How long was y'all married?
All together, I think about 7 years married, but we were 12 years together because I wouldn't marry him. I tried not to marry him because I was like, why would you want to marry a crackhead? You know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So all I can say is, you know, it was the guys of the atmosphere. That's really all I can say because I remember my last day getting high. You know, I had spent about $800, and I was like, I had sold all the food stamps. You know how you do all that crazy stuff, and I had ran out of ideas, and I was asking my husband for $5 more, and he was laying on the couch dying. He had a brain tumor, and I didn't know why he wasn't moving on the couch. So it was like God told me, you know, if you don't stop right now, you're going to die today. And I went and threw all my tools in the garbage in the dumpster across the street because I stayed in the projects. We stayed in the projects. And on the way back across the street, I found a whole big, pretty bag of drugs, you know. And I said, look what I found. And he was just like, and I was like, okay, God just finished talking to me. So I had a decision to make. You know, either I stop now or I'm going to die like this. And I really, truly believe that. And I washed it down the drain, and usually I take the pipes off and go get it back. I never tried to get that, you know, the drugs back out of the pipes or nothing like that. That was my last.
How long have you been clean now?
21 years plus.
21 years?
21 years
God
plus.
is good.
Yes.
Wow. So how many years were you smoking? Were you doing drugs?
Drugs, 19 years.
19 years of
19
drugs
years.
And 21 years of being clean.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, eclipse.
Wow.
I passed that eclipse. You know, sometimes I can hardly believe it because it's like, it feels some days like just yesterday, you know, it was chaos and drugs and no sleep and, you know, and now it's like a whole new life, you know, and I get the opportunity to do anything I want to, basically, you know.
Right.
I did some volunteer work. When I got my first job, I went to school for 6 months and got a machine shop job and was in the plain dealer as being a machinist, and my kids was like, oh my God, Mom was in the paper, you know. And I think, you know, I wanted to make my children really, you know, proud of me and know that, you know, life changes and, you know, no matter, you know, what you do, you can have a chance, you know, to change your life no matter how far down the scale you're going. Because I was terrible. I mean, I was skinny, like, my arm is bigger than my legs were, you know what I'm saying, back in the day. And
well, look at you now. You look good.
Yes.
You look good.
That's
you
only
look
God.
God is good. God is good, definitely.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, what would you tell the youth of today that struggle with some of the similarities that you struggled with yesterday?
Go get some help. Go get some help for yourself. Ask for help. Seek help. You know, try to better yourself. Always, like I went through anger management. I went through rape crisis counseling. You know, just any kind of, all the counseling I could find, I went through. When I found out it was help for me, I tried to get help from everywhere I could get help from. You know, anybody said, I remember when they told me, they said, you got post-traumatic stress. And I was like, you know, I thought they was telling me I was crazy, you know, because I didn't understand it. And I was like, back to you. But then, I stopped and thought about it. Like, it's impossible for me to have been in the streets for that long and not have some kind of a bad effects, And so I went and got, mental health help.
Yeah, that's a blessing. You came out with all your limbs, your health. I know, because I worked at the hospital and I've worked with older as well as younger people that, did drugs, and a lot of them either messed their kidneys up or their livers or their hearts are gone. I mean, messed up. So, and you look good. You actually, God, had a bigger purpose for you here.
I feel good too. A lot of the people that I walked with in the street are basically dead.
Yeah.
A lot of the girls died, found in the dumpster or in the field or in the abandoned house.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the girls brushed their teeth. I had this thing when I was in the crack house. I couldn't stand the stuff on my teeth, so I used to always carry a toothbrush because I just hated that feel. It was the skin thing again, but I guess it just was meant.
Yeah.
I got other things to do, and God got other places.
Your relationship with God grew stronger.
I always had a strong relationship with God. Yeah.
Tell us about the woman that you became today. Like, who are you today? You went through so much as a younger woman, as a child, and you overcame so much. Like, who are the woman you are today?
I'm still a work in progress. Okay, it's a lot of work. It may not be you may not be able to see my scars physically, but I have some scarring, a lot of scarring, and it's still a lot of work for me to do. Psychologically, sometimes I can't sleep at night still. They want to put me on medication to sleep, and I don't like medication. I like take the healthier, natural, because I'm trying to stay healthy.
Right.
And all these medications, I'm scared of medications. They want to put you on something and you got this syndrome and that syndrome, and so I travel a lot because I like people. I like to talk to people. Everywhere I go, I talk to people, whether it's at the bus stop. Sometimes it's so weird because I want to stop sometime and get out my car and just have a conversation with a human being.
So how does that make you feel when you out talking to people and sharing your story? How does that make you feel? Like
I'm doing God's work.
Hey.
It's a reason that I came through all that I came through.
It is.
Even my recent situations, I lost my father in 2016, and then in 2017, my best friend of 18 years, sent her son to kick in my front door around my house. So that was, I lost a best friend. It just was like ripping apart because I had just lost my father, so I had nobody to talk to or bond with, or, it was really hard losing a best friend. I had never had a best friend.
Right.
So this was a new experience for me, and 18 years is a long time.
Right.
So I did not have any doubt that she was truly my best friend. I never, never thought about it. But anyway, moving past that, my 4-year-old grandson was murdered in 2017.
I remember you mentioning that.
Yeah.
You got custody of the other grandchild, right?
Partial
custody.
Yeah.
Okay, you
3 years. He was 3 at the time. So yeah, he's with me, and he's spoiled. And
he's 3.
He's 4 now.
He's 4 now.
Yeah.
Okay.
He'll be 5 in June.
Okay.
Little Bill is spoiled. He eats crab legs and lobster and shrimp, and his mom's is worried about she won't be able to. And I was like, get a job. So she's doing well now.
She's help out with the grandbaby.
Yeah, I wouldn't let him go in the system.
Yeah.
I didn't go. I ran from the system. If they could have called me, But
I actually had one of my sponsors wanted to contribute with you for you and your grandson. I remember you mentioning you help take care of your grandson, and you had to find a babysitter and things like that. So they actually wanted to send you and your grandson out to Red Lobster. So they got you a gift card. Because I remember you telling me the story how you was like, I gotta find a babysitter, and you just, working a working grandmother, and and you just doing so well, and you taking care of the baby and everything like that. So I was telling someone about your story, and they wanted to contribute and give you a gift card to Red Lobster.
Thank you.
The name of the company is a salon, Ladaire's House of Beauty. It's on 721 in Broadway, Bedford, Ohio. So here's your Red Lobster gift card.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And give me a hug. I'm so proud of you and happy, and I'm glad that you came on this show to share your story, because I feel like your stories are going to help millions of people. I definitely feel like God used you and allowed you to go through whatever you went through in your life. The message today is, you guys, this woman has been through so much in her life, and it took her to go through so much. You guys heard the story. So I just want to tell you all, like, God is so good. God is so good. Like, there's nothing that God can't do. I don't care at your worst, if you at your lowest or whatever, God will bring you out of it, as long as you believe in God and keep that faith and stay prayed up and get into the Word. Start seeking God more. Like, when I was going through things in my life, and at my lowest, I just started seeking God wholeheartedly. And I'm telling you, as long as you're doing that, as long as you're seeking God, God gonna seek you. And God gonna continue to guide you and give you strength and things like that. So nothing is impossible. This woman is 21 years of clean. She was into that field for 19 years, and when God says it's your time, He snatch you up. It's your time to get out, and now she's working for the Lord, and she's giving back to people, because she's been able to be used by God. So I love y'all so much. Y'all stay tuned every Sunday at 5:30. To You Can and You Will talk show. I love you all so much. God bless you, and I see you soon. Oh, where can they find you? If they want to find you on social media, do you have any social medias? No social media.
No social media. But I would like to say, don't give up.
Okay.
I want people to don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. I had judges help me. I don't have any criminal record anymore.
Wow.
I got a passport. I've been to Africa, all over the world, traveling,
oh, wow.
Talking to people. Just don't give up. The worst drug addict can turn out to be a star.
Yep.
If God say so.
You all were born a star. We all were born a star. We all have a purpose here in life. A lot of times we going through things and don't understand why we going through them. Only God knows. And then later on you'll figure it out, like, oh, this is why I went through that. So when we going through things, we're like, why God, why me, why me, why me? Like, God didn't take her through that for her. He took her through that because He felt like she was a strong individual, and He knew that she was going to overcome it, and He knew He was going to be able to take her and use her and send her back to where she were to help out all those other people. And that's what she's doing. So the next time you guys are going through things and looking at things like, oh, well, why am I going through this and why am I going through that? Don't question it. Just ask God the strength to endure it. Ask God to continue to strengthen you and, just to guide your footsteps, okay? I love you all again. Thank you. Look at you. She's going. All right. God bless you all. See you soon.
Gave me my first son, my first love, my witness to everything. Came home and I was drinking like that. I moved on streets like that. Pimped out and raped. I even caught my first case. Sat in jail for 5 days. I prayed to change my ways. Went to school with a learning disability.